Good evening and welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Tamiru Nimsa. Let's have a look at the headlines. Government launches an online public learning platform to revolutionize education. Country experienced favorable economic conditions in Q1. Government announces. News in detail. In an effort to facilitate the return of Sri Lankan ex-military personnel deployed in Russia, a high-level delegation led by State Minister of Foreign Affairs Tarka Balsuriya is set to visit Russia for crucial discussions on June 26th and 27th. This was announced by Minister of Foreign Affairs President's Counsel Ali Sabri during a press conference at the Presidential Media Centre recently. Minister Sabri highlighted the government's efforts to repatriate Sri Lankans involved in military purposes in Russia, aiming to ensure their safe return and address any related issues. In addition to this, a team of officials is reviewing a cabinet paper to determine Sri Lanka's potential membership in the BRICS organization. Their findings are expected later this month. The minister also touched upon the positive progress in negotiations with bondholders and official creditors, expressing optimism about Sri Lanka transitioning from a debt defaulter to a debt-repaying nation. Minister Sabri revealed plans to visit Japan in early July at the invitation of the Japanese Foreign Minister to finalize the resumption of development projects previously halted. Concurrent efforts are also underway to facilitate the safe return of Sri Lankans currently stranded in Myanmar. The public learn education platform aiming to revolutionize education in Sri Lanka was launched under the patronage of President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Chamber Hall of the Presidential Secretariat recently. President Wickremesinghe highlighted that this platform marks the third phase of Sri Lanka's learning journey following the Peruvian system and the British public school system. He stressed the need for continuous adaptation and innovation in leveraging digital technology to propel Sri Lanka forward in the digital economy. Public Learn, a platform that connects users to free courses from the world's top universities, is operated by Region Global and funded by the Sri Lanka diaspora in the UK. PublicLearn.lk will provide more post-school learning opportunities without the constraints of traditional classrooms, addressing the shortage of skilled teachers and paving the way for many Sri Lankans to advance and transform our nation. Department of Census and Statistics says that the country's economy has experienced more favorable economic conditions in the first quarter 2024 when compared to the first quarter last year. Sri Lanka's gross domestic product grew 4.3% in the first quarter of 2024, data from the State Statistics Office showed, as the central bank continued to refrain from generating monetary instability. Department of Census and Statistics says that the high inflation had prevailed in the first quarter of year 2023, gradually reduced to a lower level by the first quarter of 2024. They further added that this low inflation incentivized the economy by providing inputs at a much lower price. The agriculture sector grew 1.1% in the first quarter of 2024 after also growing 1.6% last year. Industry grew 11.8% in the first quarter against a 24.3% last year. The economy grew amid falling prices, the Statistics Office said, in sharp contrast to the Anglophone macroeconomic claim that inflation is needed to boost growth, on which Sri Lanka has 5 to 7 inflation target has apparently been set. Department also said that among industrial activities, coinciding with the decline in input prices, the construction industry grew by 14.2%. Parallel to this, and the mining and quarrying industry too expanded by 18.3% during this quarter. Sri Lanka's service sector grew 2.6% against a decline of 4.6% recorded last year. Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. State Minister for Provincial Councils, Local Government and Environment, Janaka Wakkumbura, announced plans to update the current Environment Act and introduce it alongside the Climate Change Act as a new bill in Parliament. The State Minister said this during a press conference held at the Presidential Media Centre recently, marking 2 years of progress and advancement. State Minister Wakkumbura highlighted an urgent program to responsibly utilize the country's valuable mineral resources for economic benefit while ensuring environmental sustainability. Secretary of the Ministry of Environment, Mr. B.K. Chandrakirti, outlined significant strides made over the past 2 years, including the development of the Dambulla Arboretum and restoration of damaged mangrove ecosystems. Additional Secretary for Environmental Development, R.D.S. Jaitungu, highlighted climate change projects, including enhancing transparency in agriculture, forests, and land use and implementing a national adaptation plan. Additional Secretary for Natural Resources WDSC Valivatta discussed efforts to enhance air quality in Colombo with technical support from the French government. Chairman of the Central Environment Authority, Venura Fernando, emphasized the need for fostering an environmental culture through educational programs and digitizing the authority's information center. A draft constitution for the Sri Lanka Cricket Board move aiming to enhance the administration, training and well-being of players was presented to President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Presidential Secretariat recently. The draft prepared by the Chitrasiri Committee was handed over by Committee Chairman, retired Supreme Court Judge K.T. Chitrasiri, along with other committee members. This initiative follows the Cabinet Subcommittee's recommendations to address challenges in Sri Lanka cricket. The subcommittee, appointed on November 6, 2023, was chaired by Minister of Foreign Affairs and President's Counsel Ali Sabri and included key ministers. They presented their report to the Cabinet on January 8, 2024, covering areas such as governance, transparency and professionalism within Sri Lanka cricket. Key recommendations included restructuring the Sri Lanka Cricket Board's composition and promoting good governance. The emphasis was also placed on the nutritional framework of cricket at various levels, ensuring merit, equality and fairness. Following the Cabinet's decision on February 13, 2024, an expert committee was appointed to draft the new constitution. State Minister for Home Affairs Ashoka Priyantha said that the Public Service Commission has approved the new service constitution for Gram Nilgiri officers following the endorsement of the Cabinet Ministers. The State Minister said this speaking at a press briefing titled Collective Path to a Stable Country at the Presidential Media Center recently. State Minister Ashoka Priyantha shared details about the newly approved Gram Nilgiri Service Constitution. He emphasized the government's commitment to enhancing public services and supporting significant projects like Urume and Aswesuma. The State Minister highlighted the appointment and ongoing training of JN officers for 1,942 Gram Nilgiri divisions. He acknowledged the long-standing issue of the Gram Nilgiri Service Constitution, now resolved with the Public Service Commission's approval, allowing for necessary amendments. Stay tuned for the stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on negative notes today. The all-share price index dropped 50.25 points to close at 12,260.58 and the S&P SL20 dropped 23.4 points to close at 3,621.89. The turnover was 1.8 billion rupees and over 38 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all our news for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook.